Hello, welcome to the Enchanted Kingdom of Hermione. I'm the Lord Chamberlain of the Enchanted Kingdom. Zip gun, we're up here in the turret of pleasure, watching videos of the ocean and owls and stuff. Listening to a record I just found. One of these things, it's so great. I follow music, I've studied it my whole life. And you just can't know everything. Can't be done. So I'm getting surprised. And recently I did a video about a bunch of really, really, really cheap CDs I found at 12 cents a piece or some stupid thing. And I hadn't even gone through them all, I think, when I made that video. Anyway, I went back. I think it was to this, maybe it was to the same thrift store later. And there was more, and a bunch of them at 12 cents. But I noticed out of all this sort of stuff that was just kind of whatever, okay, I guess, I noticed this Buddy Guy. Hold that plane. Now, Buddy Guy is, in my opinion, I don't know, the best electric blues guitarist ever. I really can't think of anybody else I'd rather listen to. And I discovered Buddy Guy many years ago now on a record he did for Alligator called Stone Crazy, which isn't really an Alligator record. I mean, it's not a typical Alligator record. It was done in France, I think in a radio station. I think it was done, and it was just Buddy and his brother and a bass player and a drummer, and I think they were doing a radio program or something, very low key, and it's absolutely just an absolute tour de force of blues guitar. I don't know. I for my entire record selling career, it was like people say, "You got any good blues guitar?" And I'd sell them this, and they just go crazy. Now, Buddy has gone. That to me is almost his apotheosis, just his best stuff. I think he might have peaked with another one, because for a while Buddy was like, back in the day, Buddy did a bunch of stuff for chess, all of which is really good, but it's not definitive. It was mostly him trying to do songs. There's lots of great guitar playing, but it's a bit more, I don't know, they're more like they're aiming for hit singles. And then he went through a variety of labels and whatnot after chess. I think he quit. I don't know when. I didn't do any research for this one, but mid 60s, I think, chess turned into whatever. He did a bunch of stuff, and he kind of disappeared a little bit because it was not a good era for blues artists in general with record labels. But and that area is kind of murky in my knowledge. I know him from when he came back. The Alligator record came out. It was a bit of a sensation because it was, where's he been? And then he got kind of picked up by, I think it was Silvertone, and they did all these records with him where they were just loaded with special guests, and it was all about the special guests. And I fucking hate special guest blues guitar records. Even like John Lee Hooker, everybody made them. But then he made a couple, and one up there, Sweet Tea, done sort of like Stone Crazy. It was done in a little studio in Louisiana, I think, or Mississippi, or somewhere rural. Real simple studio, because it's just a simple band. Somebody gave the bass player a fuzz tone. Well, this is a cataclysmic development, and I'll tell you what, this is a really good record. Sweet Tea, A+ record, as is Stone Crazy. But having said all this, I will buy and I bought most of my Buddy Guy records in the thrift store. In fact, I bought all but Stone Crazy and the chess sets. I paid sort of real money for those. Everything else has been $1 or $2. And that's like, I got a lot of Buddy Guy CDs. And this one was 12 cents. Now, what is the reason for this particular video? Not to tell you about Buddy Guy as such, but to relate a great story. And I'm going to call this story When the Names Don't Add Up. And this has happened, and I've been trying to think of other instances, and I'm kind of coming up a little short. I know I'll come up with some more. So when the names don't add up. So this record, now, let's get down to brass tacks. It's a Vanguard record. Now, Vanguard did some pretty darn good blues records. And this is 1972 Vanguard Records. However, it says at the bottom of all the credits, originally recorded in 1970. Okay, so it was in a bit of a follow period for Buddy. Produced by Michael Cascuna and Buddy Guy. Now, that's my number one name. Like when I'm in the thrift store, Michael Cascuna, he's the guy that did all the box sets for Legacy, Columbia, all the Miles Davis, he ran Arista Freedom records for Clive Davis in the 70s. He's sort of an executive producer. What would you call him? Anyway, I'm going to guess 1970 was the beginning of his career. I'm sure of it. I can't think of him doing anything. So he probably was just a record producer working in New York City. Still, Michael Cascuna, that makes me pay attention. So produced by Michael and Buddy Guy on the band. Buddy Guy, electric guitar and vocals, of course. Philip Guy, rhythm guitar, that's a plus. He's also on Stone Crazy. A.C. Reed on tenor sax. Now, A.C. Reed is kind of the sax player everybody used for blues sessions, and he made numerous solo records for Alligator that are very much Alligator records in that there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. Really good. They're not definitive or super exciting, maybe. But A.C. Reed, perfectly creditable tenor sax player. Now, on alto sax, we have Gary Bartz. Now, 1970, Gary Bartz was playing, I believe, or was just about to play, with Miles Davis. Okay. And Gary Bartz plays apparently all over this record. Him and AC are the sax section. On piano, Junior Mance, another jazz guy. Junior Mance, okay. And then Ernest Johnson on bass. And a guy named Jesse Lewis on drums, who I don't know how to say this, but he's not very good. There's a couple of songs where he literally is just asleep at the switch. He's not he's the Pete Best of the blues on this. However, that's not even what gets me the names going with me. Oh, and by the way, there's on one song, there's Buddy Guy on guitar, Mark Jordan on piano, I don't know who that is, Freebo on bass. Freebo was Bonnie Raitt's bass player who played an acoustic Ernie Ball bass guitar. Maybe the first guy in rock to do that. So that one, and David Ripstock on drums. I don't know who that is, but what a name. No, the one that opened my eyes was, first of all, the opening track on this record is Watermelon Man, Herbie Hancock's funky jazz tune. Yes, it's a jazz tune. Okay, fine. We got, Gary Bartz, and then you notice here, replaced Ernest Johnson on bass, replaced by Bill Folwell on Watermelon Man. Wait a minute, Bill Folwell. Oh, and what's this? Jesse Lewis on drums, replaced by Barry Altschul on Watermelon Man. So Watermelon Man, and this isn't going to click with a lot of you, I know it, but what we have here is Bill Folwell is a bass player who played for quite a little bit of time with free jazz avant-garde tenor sax player Albert Ayler, who in his earlier incarnations was as free jazz got, and then he had some kind of weird epiphany where he decided he needed to play funky R&B music, but he was not capable of this because he was insane, and his jazz, he was like the James Chance of like funky R&B, and they put Bill Folwell played bass. He started playing acoustic bass with him, ended up playing funky electric bass. They hired Bernard Purdy to be the drummer on this funky record of Albert Ayler's. It was just a disaster. And Bill Folwell played on all these weird Albert Ayler records that were, to be as polite as possible, at best misbegotten. And by that point, Albert was crazy. So Bill Folwell's on this. Okay. Now, the drummer, Barry Altschul is a giant of the free jazz scene. in New York City. He played, and this is 1970 again, so early going for him. But not too soon after this, he was in a band with Chick Corea, Anthony Braxton, David Holland, and him in a band called Circle, which was free jazz, as free as Chick Corea ever got. He played in on the Dave Holland record Conference of the Birds with Dave Holland and Sam Rivers and Anthony Braxton. He played in Braxton's Fabulous Quartet with Kenny Wheeler and Dave Holland. He's made many, many solo records. Free jazz, but free jazz. We're talking free jazz, free jazz. So I'm in the store going, Altschul, Fulwell, Bartz, A.C. Reed, and the Guy Brothers doing a Herbie Hancock song. Yeah. Yes, please. I come home. I couldn't. It's like, fuck. I come home. I look at the All Music thing. 2 stars. I'm like, oh man, it's going to be one of those, is it? Okay. And I put it in and I put it on. And it's so lame. It's so lame. It's really fucking lame. I never thought I'd describe a Buddy Guy record as lame. I would love to know the meeting where this was decided that this was going to be A, accomplished, B, why is it the lead-off track? We'll never know. And it's just one of those things. Now, it's of course 12 cents. Yeah, I'm buying it. The next song is called Hold That Plane, and guess what? It's actually really good. Just the regular guys, no free jazz guys. And I forget which song it is, though, but I think it might be my Time After a While, perhaps, where the drummer is just, the drummer is god-awful. He's just no good at all. And it's one of those flat-sounding, a lot of these records in the early 70s, late 60s, blues records, they were done very quickly. I can't believe, but they must have spent some money on this, because there's at least 3 different sessions represented on this record. 2 that produced 1 song each, and then 1 that produced 5. So when the names don't add up, it's like when you see something like this, and you go, what? Why? What? Now, I can tell you the reason this session happened was money. These guys were broke. They needed to make some money. Bill Falwell gets a call. You want to come and play on Buddy Guy's record? Sure. I'm in. But there you have it. Fascinating. I like it, but I know it's terrible. But there you go. The points of separation in this are fascinating. Anyway, there you go. What were they thinking? Who made this decision to hire these particular people? And why? Probably because one of them was like the 4th guy they phoned and he finally answered the phone. Who knows? I'd love to know. Maybe I'll ask Barry Altschul if I ever get to talk to him. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and all that other stuff. And we're making the great push to 1,000 subscribers and see if we can actually start earning filthy lucre from our corporate overlords before terrible things happen. Who knows? Take care of each other, and we'll talk to you soon, hopefully. Bye.